it's Friday, then we going live again. So get your snorkels out and let me see some skins. Smoke ties, not drugs, what we teach the kids. I candy man, castrate that rapper, middle finger to the sky, scream fuck, rap the big cops trying to get me going state to state. Blowing ties off the rim that them haters hate.
Guys, welcome back to another Chit Chat Diss Dat. Today we got Harry Bink. Probably seen him around Nitro Circus, X Games, maybe a few Choi Candy parties. bit of here, bit of there. So, man, you're always doing crazy shit, and I thought, it'd be mad to get you on, have a bit of a chat. You've seen you been through, some crazy recoveries. I've seen you posting good advocate for mental health and some of the ups and downs you've been through, and then, the importance of, looking after yourself and balance, and then, you're just living, bro, fucking jumping out of buildings and planes, and it's wild. So, considering you're just one of the local boys, I thought, fuck, get you on, have a chat, and, some of the audience can hear some of your stories, especially we're just saying, I don't think you've done a pod recently, so you haven't done anything, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I appreciate you having us on.
Nah, sick, bro. But
yeah, dude, man, I think I first met you at one of Shami's parties.
yeah, it was Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween 2020.
Yeah, wow. And then the last time we hung out would have been at one of Shami's parties with no boys too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bros. You've, because you not from Gold Coast originally, are you?
Yeah, from Canberra. I moved.
Oh, you're Canberra, boy.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I seen you repping some of that's down there. Oh man, dude, that used to be. I grew up like 15 minutes from 15-minute drive or 10-minute drive from some of that.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. I grew up my whole life, and man, as soon as I was 18, I ejected that place straight to the Gold Coast.
Really?
Moved here by myself,
Ejectocito, cuz.
yeah, I kind of never looked back after that.
Were you riding and shit then?
Yeah.
Oh, so how old were you? When did you first start getting into riding?
My dad put me on a bike when I was 2 years old.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like farm bikes kind of stuff, and rode them till about 12, and then he got us race bikes, and then started racing.
Yeah.
From about 12 to 16.
Yeah.
And when I turned 16, he's like, all right, like you gotta, like it's up to you to pay for it for yourself now. And he like warned us as well. At 14, he's like, as soon as you turn 16, you gotta do it all on your own.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm not going to pay all this like racing fees, sign on, all this stuff to go race. Like I don't.
Racing's crazy, bro. Expensive.
Yeah, dude.
Like rebuilding the bike after every race and like smashing the bikes and.
Dude, I'd say like however much the bike costs, you need that much money again to just pay for race fees and whatever else. So, yeah. I mean, and then the travel, it blows up pretty quick.
When did you start freestyle? Like when did you go? Because racing and freestyle is completely different.
Yeah, dude. So I always watch Travis Pastrana DVDs over and over again. Like Travis, some people believe in God. Like I believe in Travis Pastrana.
That's the best, bro. I did. What was the Pastrana, the series where he was at his house?
Yeah,
then they just used to film at his house.
Yeah.
I used to watch that. That was I'm not even crazy into motos, and I used to fucking love that.
Yeah, dude. So that was what I grew up kind of watching, idolizing, and it was just all I'd watch them over and 10 times over and over kind of thing.
How old are you?
I just turned 31.
Oh yeah, fuck. So you're younger than me. Fuck, I'm so old. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you would have been watching that growing up.
Yeah, and I lived and breathed it, but I never thought that I never thought I was ever going to meet them. It was just such a dream thing. I remember I had dream things at school. If you could hang out with one person for a day and anyone in the world, who would it be? And I'd be like Travis Pastrana. I just never thought I'd meet him.
Yeah.
And then...
bro, it was we were watching Jackass, Bam, fucking, Krusty Demons. And for me, Travis Pastrana was just another famous person that you'd never ever get to meet. Also, so I can relate to you going he's just, it seems so far out of reach that 18-year-old Harry from fucking Canberra is gonna go hang out with Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, and then I think that's another thing with Aussies, how we have so much dogginess, because we always watch the guys in the States and we just think that we're never ever gonna, especially like back when we were younger, like it felt so distant not having social media, things like that. So we'd always just put them on this crazy pedestal, and then when we got there, we're like, oh, well, like we can keep up with these guys.
Yeah.
Well, not so much Travis Pastrana, but like, you know. But yeah, so I like thought that, and then they did their first ever they did their first ever Nitro Circus tour, like touring live.
Yeah.
And the first ever tour they ever did was in Australia. So the first one was in Brisbane, second one was in Sydney, and I went to the Sydney show, and I got to meet Travis Pastrana, met him backstage and all that, and I was 16, and
You would have been losing it.
Dude, it was nuts. And he talked to me, he gave me his time of day.
Yeah.
I showed him these gay videos of me backflipping a BMX bike. and he watched them, and he like gave me his time of day. And then
he sounds humble.
oh, dude, super humble. Like I would say he's just as cool off camera as he is on camera, like easily. And it was so surreal, but it triggered this like belief system in me. I was like, oh, if he spoke to me, I just triggered a belief system, and I just stopped racing, and I started my carpentry apprenticeship, and I was like standing on job sites doing full days, and I'm like, fuck, like, man, if I'm doing 12-hour days on a job site getting roasted in this like sun or freezing winter. You know how cold winters are in Melbourne or Canberra. And then I was like, man, if I just put all my time and energy into actually like riding, I would have done it by now. So that triggered like lit a fire in me, meeting him and stepping foot on a job site. I went on Google, got set like the ramp plans off Google. I hit up one of my good mates at school. He was renting a farm. They let me build the ramp in their shed and then set it up.
Fuck, so you just Googled the plans and built you just go fucking build me own
one
ramp.
of the dodgiest ramps you will ever see. Galvanized metal. I was using a stick welder, and all the welds that I did, they ended up all breaking. But I had to ride it a few times for it to even like for them to start breaking. So as like one would break, I would like get a bolt and then just like bolt. I started bolting it all together. And then, just kind of did that. But I rode that ramp like every day for a year straight. Like every second I had a chance, I would like, I would just finish work and just pin it out there. And within a year, I learned enough tricks to do a show. Like,
fuck.
Yeah.
What were you landing on? What was the landing?
A dirt landing.
Yeah.
And the landing was smaller than the up ramp. So like with freestyle, like with a proper jump, it was like snow landings, right? They have these big jumps, but their landings are big and safe. It's kind of how it should be. Like the landing should be at least however tall the ramp is, half that size again.
Oh, true.
Yeah. For just for a safe jump, and it was like the opposite.
So it was if you
Just
didn't land
sketchy.
perfect, it could be a big
Yeah,
thud.
you'd miss the landing. And
What were you riding back then?
I was on a YZ 250F. So yeah. 250
Hectic.
and it was but dude, when I first started jumping the ramp, I was hitting it in like third, fourth gear, and then I found out that they hit it in second gear. And then I just learned an X amount of tricks, and then like lazy boys and nothings, just like all pretty simple tricks. And then I just pestered Steve Minnie. He was doing Crusty Demons at the time. Big shout out to that dude. Like he got me on Nitro Circus, like because he ended up being the athlete manager at Nitro, and like we had a crazy future together from there. But and he kind of took me under his wing. He like told me like he taught me the management side of like getting on Nitro and shit. Like he
Like treating it serious instead of just like
hey, don't piss off that guy. Fucking party with him. Like
Yeah.
just gave me all the green
Gave you the
lights.
rundown.
And it's like that's like a fucking map like of just the way in kind of thing. It's pretty. I think that's why it can be so hard getting into something that big. Like everyone in the world wants to be on Nitro Circus that does action sports. Every single person, it's like that, especially at that time.
How old were you this time when you've got the green light to go fucking do tricks on Nitro?
I was just turned 21.
Fuck.
Yeah, and dude, I just turned 21 and then like got on some Nitro shows, and then so I drove to practice. I just hit them up, drove to one of their practices, and then rode with them, and then they were like, "All right, you're on for the show. Like you rode sick in practice."
Once they say you're on, do they just say like, we'll get your bike there, we'll do this, or do you like?
Oh, well, so they had a show. It was in Canberra, my hometown, and
Oh yeah.
so I hit him up and I was like, "Oh, can I just please come ride practice? I just want to ride practice." And then and then just show you guys how I ride. I don't want to ride the show, like nothing like that. I'll pay for my own fuel, everything. I don't want money, like nothing. And I'd been doing shows for a bit leading into it. Like I've been doing 2-3 years of shows. And then I went there, rode practice with, which is funny. I ran into Trav the night before because they ended up booking me a hotel room that like they said that they weren't, and then they did, and it was epic. They looked after me. And then I ran into Trav the night before, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ride practice with you tomorrow. Like, sick to meet you. And like because I was actually meeting him as a rider rather than just a fan.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, so what? Who the fuck? Like, sorry, who the fuck are you? Like, and then it was a funny joke because after it, like I've got one of my pinned video on Instagram. It's like, who the fuck is Harry Bink? And this is where it comes from.
Oh, is that real? That where he's legitimately? Oh, when he says who the fuck is Harry Bink?
Yeah, he's like, who the fuck? Like, he's like, so who the fuck are you? Like, what makes you like brings you to like, why are you on here? Out of like all these people wanting to come here and ride on this tour, like, what makes you think that you can be? Like, what do you even do? Like, I've never seen you, kind of thing. And I guess because those guys work their butts off. Like, obviously they put their whole bodies at risk, but then they do these massive hours and touring the world all the time. Like, Trav was getting under like 2-3 weeks at home a year. He was on the road that much, like around that time. He was gnarly. Like, he was just, he's non-stop. He loves it that way too, though.
Yeah, you can see he's an entrepreneur. He's a business minded. Like, he's an athlete, but he knows what he's doing.
For sure. He's definitely shifted over to the business side more, I would say now.
I mean, you got to, don't you, eventually?
Oh,
like,
dude.
fuck, man, you've had some gnarly crashes. There's got to be times where you think, like, fuck, I nearly died.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful.
You kind of think like that, and then the passion takes over, and you're just like, fuck.
You're fucked, bro. I see some of the videos pop up, some of the accidents. I'm like, bro, that's where I go, you know what? I'm going to fucking... Oh no, I'm gonna ride a scooter or something. It's enough.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, and to the everyday eye, like, it does look like that. And like, sometimes you do watch it and you think like,
What do you mean to the everyday eye, bro? You got scars from fucking head to. If I can see them on you from here, bro. That couldn't have felt good. Fuck.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Hey,
you're just not normal, bro. Like,
but I was normal. Like, when I like going back to the carpentry days and like doing that, like, I was so normal, but then I realized like what my inner passion was, and like I guess I wasn't like really content in when I asked myself a lot of honest questions, like when I broke my neck before it and stuff like that. I'm like, why do I actually go as hard as I do? And I'm like, I'm probably, anyways, and the reason I do it is because I want to wake up, I want to be respected, and I want to have freedom to do whatever I want each day. And I don't care like how many hours I have to be up for to do it. And then like going back to the carpentry apprenticeship, this is kind of where it all ties in, because I remember when I made the decision, all right, like I remember it was one freezing cold morning in Canberra. It was still dark, and I was on the job site taking down this fence, and I was trying to get this strip bolt off with a shifter, and I slipped off. I jammed my finger, like I smacked like really hard in the fence, and I like cut a bit of my finger off, and it was freezing cold. And I was just like, I remember like having a moment. I was like, fuck this, like. And then I made a promise. I'm like, all right, like if you got to do whatever you wanted every day, would you work this hard towards anything you want to do? So like, you know, when you like see me go party and I'm like at Charmy's party and then I'm riding the next day, and so there's a couple of stories to this one, but I just stay true to the
commitment,
the trading hours.
Yeah.
It's like I get to do whatever I want each day.
You treat it like serious. Like, I've got to get up tomorrow. I've got to train. I've got to fucking.
But it's because I still run off like I get to do whatever I want each day and kind of things like that. But yeah, dude, I don't know. There's a few things there, but when I also like, dude, it's so funny because like once I got on Nitro Circus, there's all these awards on tour, and there's like best FMXer, biggest crash. I'm not going to say them all. Tour drunk, and there's like all these certain awards, and I was like, man, I want to win best FMXer and tour drunk in the same tour. How sick would that be? But like the whole reason I started riding freestyle was because of watching all the Nitro Circus DVDs. So like with all these awards on tour, it meant more to me winning those awards than it did winning X Games or something, because it was like that was why
that was what you put on the pedestal as a kid. You're like, I want to be one of them boys. I want to be cruising on tour. Like,
yeah.
And was it what you thought it was? Like. for me, I grew up watching CrossFit Demons and I'm like, man, looks like they just do crazy rides, then they fucking party hard and like, you know, like was it like what you thought it was when you were younger watching it and then you actually got to do it? You're like, oh, this isn't as good, or you're like, this is better than I thought it would be, or like,
Yeah, well, that's a good question. And I'm gonna answer.
like, was it hard? Like, were you like, fuck, this is stressful? I didn't think it would be like, you know what I mean?
It was everything you just said. It was everything.
Yeah,
It was everything all at once.
better but stressful, but this.
But it all just falls under accountability.
Yeah.
Like you have to be so like Trav, everyone like they'll be like, yeah, like go have fun, do your thing. Like they support it. That's why they have like an award on tour, like Tour or whatever. But man, do they work hard. Like it's like wake up, do your job, and if you don't like do your job, like you won't get asked to come back on a tour. And it just takes one show. Like one show, you're like there was one guy once, and he's like, oh, I'm too like. Anyways, I'm not gonna go into detail.
He was too hungover to.
It was gnarly, yeah. And then, oh, dude, he never ever lived that down ever. Like it was just, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
but they make but it's like,
What you going? That's your job. You're going there to work.
it's not, and you one like you're one of to get on Nitro Circus. Like for the moto side, they have the normal freestyle show, and it's super important. You know all your cues, and you get in segments for like when we have like Nitro Bomb, we have synchro sections. And then you have like, so then you go up, it's all leading up to the big trick segment. And each rider on tour is on tour because they have a trick that no one else in the world can do. So
Really?
that's how you get on tour.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Or
So it
like,
gives you a point of difference.
Yeah.
Something like a little bit special.
for sure. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they let a rider in here and there that like just will ride the show and
Yeah,
not
just
do
a
the
good
bit.
rider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just like be well respected in the industry or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. But mainly it's just like, yeah, you got to have a trick that like kind of just brings you to the show.
What was yours?
Dude, when I first got on, man, dude, it was gnarly because there was one guy in the world that did the rock solid backflip, Tucker. And he was on tour and he was killing it and doing rock solid flips. And then I learnt it and I like did it for like 1/10 of his price. Dude, I fucking wanted to be on Nitro Circus so bad. And it was just, I was trying to learn any trick that I could that got me on. And I didn't actually like go to them and be like, dude, I can do this trick, rock solid backflip. Like, can I come on the tour? I didn't approach it like that. But it was like, dude, I learnt the rock solid backflip, and Nitro like literally had messaged me that night. I posted on Instagram, and then I just thought I was like, because I was just thought I was still in the ladder of learning tricks to get to there. And then they messaged. This was once I like got on my first main tour, because I did that like the Canberra Nitro, and I did like 2 other shows after that on that. But it was just like getting my foot in the door kind of thing. But anyways, and then they said, hey, do you want to do your rock solid flip? And they sent me the show fee, and then so that's where it was ended up being 1/10 of his price, and that's where I was like, yeah, like fuck,
Get me on there.
I'll do anything I can to, prove myself and be on this tour. So then I got on tour and and then that was USA, a USA Nitro Circus tour.
Oh, bullshit.
Around
So
the
you went
whole-
international.
Holy USA, and then the last show was MGM Grand Stadium.
Fuck off.
Dude,
How
Stevie-
old were you doing that?
21, and like Stevie Aoki, the fucking Jackass boys were there. Like, dude, it was insane. So now I'm 21 and I've done.
Bro, that is fucking wild. Like, I even just to picture like I'm the same as you. I used to look at those people and just go, they're just too far out of reach. You can't message. There was no Instagram where you could try and message them or tag, like, you know. And they're in America, they're on the other side of the world, like. And then all of a sudden, you just got G'd up, put your head down, got noticed, and then got invited out to. And then next minute you're at MGM with fucking like Nitro and Steve Aoki, and like that's. You would have been like pinching yourself going, is this fucking real? Like,
Dude, it was so gnarly, that tour. It was so gnarly. Because I literally learnt the rock solid backflip, and it's still to this day one of the most muscle memory tricks I've ever
wait,
learnt.
what is the rock solid backflip?
So you do a backflip on a dirt bike over a 75-foot gap, and then you got to go like, real calm, go to your seat grab holes. We cut seat grab holes in the airbox so you can like grab into the subframe. and then you go there, do a double grab, and then you're doing a full Superman like double grab, and then throw the bike away completely.
Oh, fuck.
Upside down. And I did the biggest ones on that tour still to this day. There's been other ones kind of done like the same as or whatever, but yeah, I did some massive ones.
So
And
you're
then,
literally upside down, not even holding the bike.
yeah, and throwing it away. Dude, how's this though? I got to there and the first 3 shows were in Canada. I get to Winnipeg, Canada, and then I was trying to do it, and what I didn't realize was my setup at home, it was jacked up a fair bit, so I had this extra bit of airtime, and that was allowing me to let go of the bike. So when I got on tour, the ramps were just on flat ground, but like this is how little awareness I had at the time. And I just was trying to do it and I couldn't get it. And the first 3 shows, they'll go, and Harry's going to do a rock solid flip. And I did dud ones, like barely could even let go. And then they were like, all right, like after this next show on the 3rd one, they're like, we're booking your flights home if you don't get it done tonight. And I was wigging out.
Fuck,
dude,
really?
I did this like I had a gun to my head. I was like, I'm throwing this bike away like I have a gun to my head. And if I go down on it, like I'm going down. And then, because usually, as I said, it's a very muscle memory trick, but you just got to go so calm, get yourself in the right position, and then that's kind of where I found the right. But anyway, so I was wigging out, and then I asked them to jack through. I said, "Fuck, get big Besser blocks and just shove them under the ramp." And then now there's this ramp, and I was jumping it in practice, and it was like I was flat landing 75 foot. But I was landing on the down ramp in the sweet spot. So if I like missed the down ramp, like I would have been mega fucked. But I was like, I got to get this done. And then anyways, jacked it. And then I got it. And I got it pretty good. And then the next one I did like the biggest one that's been done. Next one I did an even bigger one. And then I win like all these fucking, that tour I won like Rookie of the Year. Can't remember. I think I won biggest. I can't remember. Anyways, I won like a fair few awards at the end of that tour. And then to end it at like MGM, Grand and whatnot, I stayed in Vegas for a week after that.
Bro, that is absolutely nuts. Like, even I, Robbie Madison was another person for me. It was like, I used to grow up watching his shit all the time. And, he did all I'd say he'd done a lot of like hero stuff like the Pipeline Dream and the, jumping in Vegas and stuff like that. And I think he did a football field. And
dude, he's like the modern day Evel Knievel, man. I love that guy. I was actually chatting to him on the phone this morning.
Well, it was funny because we were doing the G Up tour and then we're in WA and we were there that night. Freestyle Kings was on. And I don't know how we got in touch with them and they're like, oh, come, we'll get you a box and come, like, if you just want to come enjoy yourselves, you're in Perth anyway, whatever. And then we were just talking and then they're like, oh, come out the back, meet the riders and shit. And it was funny as that I'm like, oh, I said to one of the boys, fuck, I'm a bit nervous. And they're like, what do you mean you're nervous? And I'm like, oh, that's fucking Robbie Madison. They're like, bro, you always hang out with famous people. And I'm like, nah, I watched him growing up as a kid. Like, it's different.
That's
like,
sick, dude.
like,
Respect, man.
Like, I can't explain it in the way
It's because you like tap into adrenaline, like you process like what these guys do. Like I think that's what you can feel the nerves when you're around.
Yeah, and I just
because you're like these
like for instance, when I did a stream with that I Show Speed, that streamer, and he's like biggest streamer in the world, and he's so well known. And I just wasn't one bit nervous or anything because to be honest, I hadn't really followed him at all until I bumped into him in Gold Coast. But then someone like Robbie, I've watched my whole life, so it's like the build-up's bigger. It's like, I'm like, fuck. I'm like to the boys, I'm like, nah, this cunt's the fucking goat. Like,
yeah, dude.
You don't understand. Like, he's a fucking... And then like when we were just hanging out talking to him, and now I look back, I'm like, I can't believe how nervous I was because he's such a chill dude. But in my head, I was freaking out that, going backstage talking to Robbie Madison and shit. And I feel like, you being like, I was still nervous and, I was probably 33. Like, you've been 21 hanging out with your idols. They've got the pressure on saying, bro, you got to get this done. You got to, like, it would have been like, man, the adrenaline. Sometimes I think that's probably why, too, that you're like, you can't stay content because you would have had such levels of adrenaline that, like, some stuff that a lot of people would think is wild would just feel boring to you. Like, bro, like you base jumping out of planes, the what's the thing called with the
wingsuiting?
You do that, don't you?
Yeah, I've done just out of planes. Yeah.
Just out of planes.
No, basic stuff. I mean, like, dude, base jumping's like death when you do it for that.
But
like,
you know what I mean? Like,
so
you've done.
I can't call myself a wingsuiter.
But still, jumping out of planes and that, you know, after you're doing that, you doing some normal shit would feel pretty bland. So I feel like you'd have like this, like, it's almost like when people speak to people who smash too many pingers and then they do nothing because they've depleted their you know, dopamine. I feel like you're like your rush. You've like smashed so many like jumps and planes and backflips and crashes that like you probably find yourself pretty like this is pretty boring.
It's so fun. I really appreciate the conversation too because man, I used to think like that, and that was like a thing. That's because when I first started doing it, that's kind of why I was doing it at the start. And then I'm like, when I was on tour and like I was having under 100 days at home a year, and I'm like thinking, I want to do this. Like, I don't want to be a guy that comes in and out of the sport or end up dead. There's so many guys that kind of come through it, or they end up with like whatever it is. If there is a guy that ends up with drug problems to whatever it might be. But I was like, I kind of looked at it like that, but then I shifted why I do things. So like, I think like why you do things is everything. Like, if you do things for the wrong reasons, like you're going to lose your front teeth in the driveway. But if you like do things for the right reasons, you have rocket fuel and you'll go anywhere. But like why? And then so I started like I would say in the last decade of me doing action sports, I've reinvented why I do it so many times. And like, I think like guys that even do the same sport as me, I think people that do stuff for the same reasons are wearing the same sport versus people that do the same sport. That's how I view the world now.
Yeah, okay.
So like,
If you were just chasing that adrenaline, you would have got over it by now. But you're like, no, I'm not chasing the adrenaline. I'm chasing like a legacy. I want to be in this for a long time, and you know,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then to one up it is like you start looking at variables. So that's where you start getting really clear answers. Like, and then you can even match sports together through variables. I go off in my own head so much of this stuff. But even, I'm going to give you an example, like how I do climb cranes in the middle of the night and jump off them by myself.
Do ya?
Yeah. I love it.
You're a psycho.
But no,
what do you mean you jump off with a parachute?
Yeah, I pack my own base rig, and I just will climb them in the middle of the night, and then yeah, put it properly on, and when I get to the top, do all my safety checks, and then I'll walk out and I'll jump off by myself.
Do you film it with a GoPro or anything?
I have, but like I just do it by myself. I did like 15. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyways, I did like 15 not in a row, but pretty much in the last year, like by myself.
In Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a fucking nutter.
But hey, hear me out here. So we're talking about variables. You're in a car. You're driving down the highway. You're playing chicken with strangers, and there's a white dotted line in the middle of the road. Mum will be driving down the road, passing milk bottles back to the kid, and look how calm Mum's heart rate is. So if she's doing that and then there could be a ice junkie, a little 17-year-old girl that knows nothing about a car, and there's wire hanging out of her car, could explode at any time, have a head on. So there's all these variables where you can have a head on at any time, and look how calm Mum's heart rate is with her own kids. Like you think about the family, that's the maximum risk you can do, like have your kids at risk. And look how calm Mum's heart rate is. So I was like, why aren't I that calm when I'm jumping off a crane when all the variables are in my control? So that's how I started talking to myself, and that was the reason I started climbing up the.
So it's just a way to like block your fear out and be like, nah.
Well, it's talking to your fear.
Yeah.
I think that's also another reason why I love partying. Like when I was younger, because that's where I found all my answers. So like it sounds so weird, but whenever insecurities would strike, I would just ask them series of questions, like 10s, 15s, 20 series of questions, and I realized that they're not even true, and that's how I found these thinking like variables and things like that.
Fuck.
Because like
you've done a lot of inner work with yourself, haven't you?
Oh, dude, all the answers are in here, not out there.
Yeah. That's awesome, but.
Yeah, but like, so, because for example, like I'd write a show and I'd be like, I'd kill it, not scared, and I'd be sweet. Then I'd be hungover the next day, and then I'd write a show and I'd be like, why did all these fears come on when everything was the same as the day before? So then I'd ask myself a series of questions, and I'm like, it's all a load of shit. And it's just head noise in your head. So then I'd like break it down, and then that would just open up so many conversations in my head. But like when you say an adrenaline junkie and all that, it's actually the opposite now. When I do gnarly stuff, I do it and see how calm I can stay when I do it.
Fuck.
And then, but that's when you're like, okay, now you look at like UFC fighters or whatever, like they operate at their best when they're like all like pumped up on
edge
adrenaline
and fucking,
or when they're calm, cool, collected, but they're focused. That's when they get the best out of themselves.
Yeah. So it's like slowing yourself down, being like fucking like really controlling.
For
everything.
sure. Yeah. So that's kind of when I do all this gnarly stuff now. I'm calm as a daisy when I do it now, and I'm not looking for that rush.
Yeah.
So like when I say I've reinvented like why I do it, that's probably a big thing. But when I jump off the crane, I literally just call it accountability training.
So for the crane, you're not really caring about doing it for content. It's not for work. Is that just purely?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. So yeah, because absolutely zero content, no one's watching. Because I used to do
In your head, you're just like, I'm going to get this done.
Well, it's like, yeah, but it's just like it's like, you know how people go for a walk in the morning, or like they can hike to the top of a mountain. I'm just going on a hike
To the top of a crane.
yeah, and just get to see the city, get to take in views. I'll like look up at the sky. I'll like manifest. I'll like look up, like manifest.
I mean, it would
I make promises to myself up there.
Yeah.
And then I go, and then I've packed my own parachute. I've done my ping checks, and I know how my equipment works. And then so it's accountability. So when you walk out the house and you go, "Fuck, was the door locked?" Whatever. It's just one upping yourself in accountability training. So like when you do shit, you're like, "Yeah, I've
Triple
done
check.
it."
Do
Well,
this,
yeah, well,
do
like
that.
you don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Yeah, I fucking did it."
That's pretty wild, bro. Actually, I didn't know you do that. I've seen you do some crazy shit, out of planes and went overseas, some of the jumps that you're doing, and like that's, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking.
Don't get me wrong, there is gnarly stuff too where you're like, oh, fuck, like this is gnarly. Like, oh, what am I doing? But that's how I got to, that was all I ran off when I first started. I was just, like, you know how they say, like, yeah, I would just like, I was sprinting before I could walk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how I first got on tour. That's how I kind of built my career. But now I'm like just re-changing my formulas a lot. But
What's the next for like when with the freestyle career? Because I feel like it's changed so much over the years from me being a kid to now. It's, I'd say like just from me being, like I said, I'm not in the industry. I don't know, but say. Krusty Demons when I was young was like, you would say was not a family friendly thing. It was like all like, the videos like chicks getting their tits out and like crazy parties and like desert dunes, like just fucking like fireworks, just running amok. And then slowly got your way to like, the last like sort of Nitro or Freestyle Kings and stuff I went to was like, it was really good family friendly entertainment. You bring your kids, like, it was like, I feel like it's changed a bit from the, it was almost like FMX riders were like rat bags 20, 30 years ago, like they were like real rough. Now I feel like it's not like that. They're athletes, if that makes sense. Like, and then now where you got a few big shows, different companies doing shows around Australia, but you also go do the X Games and you've got all your own content. Like what do you want to pursue more or do? Or like, you've won medals at X Games, haven't you? Now, guys, if you need some new sunnies, I strongly suggest you jump on 2 Savage's website, check them out. They've got all different color lenses, different color frames. They're very, very well priced and they're extremely strong and durable. You can crunch them, stand on them, do whatever you want. There's nothing worse than spending money and then breaking shit straight away. So believe me, I'm pretty clumsy and these things have done me fine. Jump on 2 Savage. I have a discount code. It's Candy. There's a link in the description. Grab yourself a bargain and happy shopping.
yeah. Yeah, I only ever got bronze. Yeah, no, I've got a few of them, and then I've Nitro World Games. I've won that in best trick, like inventing the front flip rock solid. So I was saying it in a
Oh, the
back
other
flip.
way. That's
I learned it in a
fucked.
front flip.
What do you do? Just hit your front brake or something at the top
It
of the
was
ramp?
off like a mechanical ramp where you hit it and it ejects you into a front flip.
Fuck.
But-
Also, leave it like...
Yeah, but I was still having to throw myself in,
Oh, 100%.
in to like get around to that. But like,
That's fucking wild.
it was. But they're like those front flip ramps are like they're gnarly. Like they're just like it's just like a gun that just shoots you. It's like when you hit it, it's on a hinge and then there's a big wall and it just hits your back wheel and throws you around into the front flip. And then so to have muscle memory in it, it's super like hard and inconsistent. So I was 23 when I did it, and that changed my life a lot too. That really made me like trigger my belief system a lot more and like
Really, like, I can do anything.
yeah, pretty much.
That's sick.
With-
What do you
with-
want to
with-
do like now? Like focusing on, like I said, there obviously gets to a stage where you can't do it forever. You've had some gnarly crashes, and you look after. I see you look after your body a lot, though. You're doing a lot of training, like strength training, and endurance, and fuck, like you're always like up early grinding. I see on your stories and shit, fucking doing like hectic like runs and pretty high intensity like training and shit. Obviously, got to look after yourself as best you can.
Yeah.
But it also gets to a point where it's like, fuck, like you said you broke your neck.
Yeah,
Like, that's pretty fucked.
6 months ago, man, that was gnarly. So yeah, it's cool. So with the broken neck, that was pretty. I was at X Games Japan, and there was slight downhill run-ins coming into the next generation ramp, 75 foot. So we just on these next gen ramps. I think there's like 5 of us in the world that have double flipped that gap. And yeah, I was doing them most of the year, but it's just super inconsistent double flipping over such a long distance. But like when on the shorter, steeper ramps, like I can do double flips in my sleep kind of thing. Like,
Oh, it's when you go the distance.
yeah, it's super hard.
Because you're trying to time when
It's
you...
like throwing a hammer and trying to time a double flip
Oh, yeah.
versus like a ball.
Yeah.
Like nearly, that's the best way I could explain it.
Yeah.
Doing a double flip over distance.
How'd you land? Did you overdo it or underdo it?
So yeah, I under rotated and then it put me over the bars, and it was on an airbag lander, and I went over the bars and it ejected me out to the flat, but I just missed the end of the airbag, and it's ejected me out. I've landed straight on my head onto my neck, and it cracked my C6 vertebrae and split. I had the best helmet like brand, and I split the front of it open.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was gnarly. And then split the front of it open. But where I broke and then I ragdolled, and I was out cold and just fully ragdolled. It looks super gnarly. Like the crash vid looks like I'm like dead or something. And then I remember like soon as I come to after being knocked out, I always do my feet checks, like make sure I'm not a vegetable. I mean, like, like I make
You
sure I
still
don't.
walk and shit.
Yeah, like I have the feeling in that. And I felt tingles, like I felt off, like feeling in my legs, and I was like, but I could move them. I'm like, fuck, we're good, like sick. And then, but anyways, ended up in the hospital, and I ended up cracking the shits here and flew back to Australia. Anyways, but once I got all the scans in my neck, they end up putting a plate in there and they fused 3 of my vertebrae together. But that's kind of like a normal surgery that they do. For
How many broken bones you got now?
I don't know, maybe like around 30.
Fuck off.
20 to 30 kind of thing. But that happens. Like all right, we'll go through. I'll talk through my neck, and then I'll just.
Yeah.
But with the neck, like I got so lucky because where I broke my vertebrae, I cracked it on the side and across the back and on the other side, and then they were like, we haven't seen damage like this without it having damage to the spinal cord, and if you damage your spinal cord, like where I did, I would have been a paraplegic, and it's just black and white, like there's nothing in it.
Fuck.
And they were like, what do you do and how did you survive? Like, how didn't you damage your spinal cord? Like, how has it been able to take this hit? And I'm like, I do a lot of Bikram yoga. And they're like, that's what saved you.
Really?
Because
you had that extra flexibility.
Flexibility and so much strength in my spine. And but also like when I do, that's why I always talk about like accountability. But like I base all my training around to take hits, and I have strength in like I'm flexible but like I have strength in every part of my joint. So like it's not like when you go to do bench press, like you're just strong in that one part of your chest. Like I've got that's why I like all I do is like bear crawls and like just weird animal movements.
You can ragdoll so nicely.
You can just take
Whereas I
hits.
just fold up and snap.
Yeah, like yeah.
That's hectic, bro.
Not that I want to, but yeah, it's just like if you're gonna play, it's also like if you play silly games, you're gonna win silly prizes. So like do as much
I
injury
mean, you're pushing the limits.
prevention as you can. But yeah, so then like so doing that, but I was on the road like taking on all these like unnecessary variables, whether downhill running or whatever. Dude, my fucking bike bogged in the practice session, second jump, and my back wheel was like just on the top, the backside of the landing. And on these new next gen ramps, they're that big. Like if it bounced me back onto the concrete, like it would have seriously messed me up. Like, and you can potentially like be and it, like
Well,
it
they're
could
75
end
foot
you.
high.
But the next gen ramp, you go like nearly half the height. So 75 foot's like pretty big. It's a standard jump. But the next gen one, it's like they've added like an extra meter and a bit on top, and it's steeper. So
you
you
go
just
straight up.
you just get ejected in the air over a height, which I don't like messing with like these longer gaps. So like going back to the moon boot or the triple flip, you just go straight up, straight down. And that's like my cup of tea. Like I love that. I love going straight up, straight down. And I like know there's so much to unlock on all that. So like I'm just So like when you say moving forward, I just want to focus on making content, and I just want to. I just got 100 acres. In like tropical rainforest, and I just want
That's sick in Goldie, like southeast
our,
Queensland.
our inland, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, and thank you. But yeah, I just want to, and I really want to focus on like making it really cool, and I want to tackle the everyday eye more. So like I want to like I've got all these, I've marked out all the trees on the property, and I want to like have more than the run-ins of the jumps, and just make it sick, but make it a sick training facility, but like have it safer and. Just and then when I talk about the variables, like when I'm got consistent setups, like I don't crash, I don't like. It's just I'm really bad because I'm a man of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, when I get to events, no matter how shit the setup is, I always send it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I'm paid to be here, and I'm going to do my job no matter what. That probably can't, yeah. So like, but now I'm like, all right, I've done it. I've done 10 years of traveling. I've the world and done it. Like I've done it. Like so, now I just want to like take a pretty big step back from it and focus on making cool and kind of see what's possible. Like in my own, I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna go do, but like I just know if I like map out the correct training formulas and on the right right equipment, like. For example, when I learnt triple flip, like I came off X Games and I broke my ribs at X Games. I had 3 cracked ribs, and then I re-cracked them 4 weeks before I started my training for triple flip, and then I sat in for I floated some doubles a month before the event, just floated doubles, and I floated like probably like 40 or 50 of them, and then I got my timing. And then I tricked myself. I was just doing two flips was 1 flip on the way up. And then I just look where I was and then go again. And I got in the ice bath and visualized it every day. And I visualized my warm-up jumps. And then I visualized everything, just start to finish. And I did it every day in the ice bath. And then when I came to training, I was like, oh, I get to fucking do a triple flip now. I don't have to fucking sit in the ice bath and visualize it again. And it went exactly how I visualized it but I'd also attempted one like 2 years before that into the foam pit. But I'd visualize
That's a gnarly trick, bro. That's to throw yourself around 3 rotations.
Yeah, on a 110 kilo dirt bike. Oh, I got my bike actually down to like 95 kilos.
Still, how long was that? Were you going for height? How high do you go when you do a triple?
Oh, good question. The moon booter was jacked and it had an extension on it. I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. I don't want to like say an unrealistic height, but it'd be like at least 20 meters high.
Yeah, that's fun. Now, guys, just quickly, Livco, Australia's best fitting deep A-frame hats. We have done our collaboration. They did sell out quick, but there is heaps of other really cool stock on their website, and I have a discount code. Candy, the link is in the description. Hit that link, grab your code. But if you're getting down to MotorX, we are doing a bit of a collaboration with G-Up. We're going to have some Livco hats with the G-Up logos for sale at MotorX. So if you're going down, come say hi. But if you can't make it down, don't stress. Jump on Livco's website, check out their hat range. And we have just locked in, because this was such a huge success, we sold out within 24 hours. We are going to be doing another collaboration, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that.
And my vision on big ramp riding is like you just going straight up, straight down. Like,
Yeah. You like that? That's
the-
more exciting for you, and you feel
Yeah.
like you can tap into some more tricks and shit.
yeah, and it's kind of fun.
Is that what you're setting up at your farm?
Yeah, more. Yeah, I'm doing a full like training facility in every type of way. I want to bring the youth through the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to
That's sick.
I want to protect the sport too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and because I also like I've always been known as the loosest rider, but like I know how to ride safe. I just choose not to.
Yeah, bro. It's I've definitely seen like, you know, some of the highlight videos that you've got, like some like the best moments and shit, like the pop up, just the shorts and that. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I just love being
just
like a
crazy.
crowd pleaser, like
Yeah.
I did. But yeah, especially when I was younger, and then just the yes man. But yeah, injuries, man. I've shattered my right heel, snapped my right Tim fib just above it, snapped it again right above it. Snapped my left Tim fib, snapped my right femur. I smashed up my thumb and my wrist pretty good. I got plates in them. Dude, I dislocated my shoulder like 38 times. But I got my dream contract on Nitro Circus and they locked me in for all these shows. And dude, someone told me I got the one of the highest show fees that year. But anyways, I don't know how true that is. But I was like 23 years old and fuck, it was like a dream come true. So I was like, I'm not letting this opportunity slip. And I was at like 6 dislocations and I ripped it out really bad in practice. And it was like out for a bit and it took a while to get in and then I had to ride the show. Like with it all strapped up and whatnot. And then I ended up dislocating a heap throughout that tour, but I just was getting it done no matter what. But I look back at it and it was, even though I dislocated it 38 times that year, 20 something times that year, it was like totally worth it. And then because I got a shoulder reconstruction, it's completely good now. I got a bone block. Yeah, broke my neck. Cracked ribs. Fuck. Yeah, got heaps of random like little niggles in the AC joints and shoulders, and popped some ribs out and tore cartilage in my ribs and just random things. But again, I've learned so much about my body. Like I don't know. Like yeah, I've got a lot of injuries, but like
You feel like you bounce back pretty good.
well, I learned so much and like I take my health so seriously. Yeah, like I might be loose whenever. Dude, I've just committed to a year sober right now
Have
too.
ya?
Yeah, I'm 2 months in.
True.
Yeah, just completely sober. Like just because I'm just like I love a challenge.
Yeah.
Like and like whenever I like partied, it was never to like feed my ego. It was just to match the energy in the room and like,
Yeah.
hey, let's see who can outdo each other. Or,
Bro,
like,
you never, it was you either on or off. Like, it was not like halfway.
yeah,
It's like,
it's just like what's the point?
Harry's here.
Just full pest mode.
Hurricane Harry just comes in hot.
I'll still treat you up when I'm sober though.
I love it. That's why I said, I was literally talking to Miss. I'm like, oh, who else get on the pod? I'm like, you know who I have mad chats with? I'm like, I always have a good chat with Harry. Like, always something going on. Bro, that's absolutely nuts. Like, considering you've just gone from being a chippy in Canberra to on tour in the States with Nitros, like it's so are you gonna plan to stay with Nitro?
Yeah, Nitro. I love Nitro family. They're awesome.
Yeah.
There's an Australian Nitro Circus tour at the end of this year. Dude, I'm so stoked for it. Oz tours are the best. They always go so well. And we've all had a bit of time off, so I feel like they're going to kind of bring the A team in.
Because COVID would have been a bit weird for you if you were so used to like traveling, and then it's like,
Dude, I went and seen a psychologist at that time. Not that I needed to, but I was like, well, I'm going to just go see one and see what they tell me to do.
yeah, because you were just itching
it was
a
just,
bit.
No, it was just go. As funny as it is, I actually like planning shit.
Yeah.
Like I like knowing what I'm gonna do next or what.
Oh, you felt a bit lost, like. What am
Nah, well,
doing?
I have a big throttle, and it's like whether if I'm going backwards or forwards, but I just have a big throttle. Like it's like how I said the tradie formula, right? I gotta do work days every day, and I've been used to being on tour and everything, and I was like. And then I was trying, and I asked, like, it took me like 6 months to see this chick, and then I went in and seen her, and I got her recommended by like one of these pro motocross racers that he's like, dude, it changed everything for me. So I went in and I poured my heart out to her for an hour, and then at the end of the hour, she goes, I cancelled my next patient. You just keep talking. I want to keep you like, you're so unique. I want to keep hearing you talk. And I poured my heart out. It was like I was just on a sober, boring bender chat. I mean, like, it fucking, and I'm just like, I gave her everything. And then at the end of the second hour, she goes, so like, what are you doing here? And I go, what do you mean? Like, fucking, I just poured my heart out to you. Like, fucking, what do you mean? What am I doing here? And then she's like, oh, well, everything you said, you kind of answered it like how I would, but just in your own words. Don't stop. Don't try and slow down to an everyday. Because my biggest question was, do I try and slow down and live an everyday's like a lifestyle and try and learn how to adapt to slower speeds and stuff? And she's just like, no, just don't slow down. Keep going. You know what you're doing, and just keep operating at the speeds you are. You've done it for so long. Like you'd be crazy to just stop in your 20s. I was like, fuck, I came here to get humbled, not to like, yeah. And so, but anyway, so then COVID, but then it did kind of just, get a bit messy in COVID.
Yeah, kept getting dragged out, and then travel got pretty hard, international and stuff.
Yeah, but it was a big...
That's when I sort of met you. 2020, I was moved up to here because Melbourne was so fucked. And then I remember thinking like...
Yeah, and that was your push too, right? That kind of got you up here. Like, do you reckon you would have hummed and hard it for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I wouldn't have... Oh, so scary, just packing up your life.
Yeah.
But COVID... it pushed me over the edge that hard because I was the same. I just loved to go. So I was trying to sneak in at work, and the police were like coming to check on me, see if I'm working and doing this. And like, this is fucked. Feel like a criminal, and I'm just trying to work and trying to do this. And then me and the missus are sneaking down the shops to like go get stuff, but you're supposed to be one person at home, one person in the car. I'm like, I feel so naughty, like, but I'm just going to fucking get milk. Like, couldn't handle it anymore. And then
it was a gnarly time,
bro. I just literally called a car carrier.
I got that time,
bro.
You were like getting trolled hard.
I walked away from work without it being set up to run by itself. I walked out of my lease. I called a car carrier, picked up all the cars, jet skis, everything. Just fucking a container. Just put my life in it. Was in quarantine. Couldn't find a house because they said, oh, there's a rental crisis. And every house I was trying to book at, they said, we're not taking bookings because too many people want them. It's just you want it or you don't. And then Chris Shao had a house in Broadbeach, so I moved in with him, and then.
Dude, I remember that, man. You guys had some wicked cars there. Oh,
yeah, that was.
I remember coming over one night. That was epic.
I had to get out of Broadbeach because I'm like, this is just party every night.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it was crazy. I said to Anita, like, as bad as COVID was, we wouldn't be where we are without it. So at the time I was banging my head, I was going insane, but also it just pushed me to go fucking do something about it then, So
Did I remember when you first moved to Hope Island and I was like, oh, really? Like, oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. Just say my address. No.
Like
it's a big place.
At your old house. Yeah. I remember when you first... Dude, I remember when you first moved, and I'm just even watching you do your journey, like from when you first came here to like now, and just how much you've grown, and like, dude, you're just laser focused.
No, it's been good, bro. It's been, for me, that's someone that likes to, like, content creation is a broad term and it's a big thing, and I hate the word. Like, I'm not an influencer, I'm a businessman.
100%, dude. Like, coming through, like, seeing your workshops from the car apps to just every business you run, it's just done to such fine detail.
Well, I guess I'm a business creator. I'm a business owner that does my own content. So for me, content creation, especially back in 2020, it wasn't a big thing in Melbourne. So you would never see someone walking around vlogging. It was embarrassing if you got caught vlogging and shit. So it was hard for me to like spread my wings a bit. And then moving up here, I met there'd have to be 5-10 people just out of Nitro, like Willie, you, fucking Corey Creed, like just all these like pro riders and like people doing crazy shit. Then you've got like all these, I got invited to Shami's party, went there, met all this, meeting all these like creators and athletes, and it just like G'd me up to like, I'm like, fuck, it's normal to fucking get photos at like like, you know, I've gone from like, nah, I don't want to get too many photos because people are looking like, I wanted to try get a good photo, but I didn't want to like take too long because whereas you go up here, everyone's getting photos, everyone's vlogging, everyone's doing everything. I'm like, this is fucking sick. And it just G'd me up to like, and as soon as I got my content right, I feel like it helped me get to the next level, you know, like content's been so key for us for, you know, to get Flipside to blow up, to get G Up to blow up, doing all the LMCT ads, like, everything, like content's been key. So once I could really like lock in on that and get that up to scratch, like moving here and seeing everyone doing it. So I feel like that's been a huge aspect of it, you know, to get that dialed in. So yeah, it's been fucking crazy. That's when I was like, man, it's fucking sick. Like even just doing the pod, how many people from, you know, it's like, oh, Will Sparks, yeah, he's just half an hour away. Harry, yeah, do you want to come? Like, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a hub for this sort of people.
I feel like when you first moved up, like Goldie was breaking into the like LA of Australia kind of thing. Now it's like definitely is, right?
Yeah,
There's just so
pumping.
many people, pump. But I feel like you kind of like, because when you kind of like run the GC now as well. Like just doing cool shit and like, I mean, you bring people together. It's like, it's epic to see from there to now. It's like, yeah, it's cool.
No, it's been good, bro.
You belong here, man.
I know. It's funny. I call it home now. Like sometimes I go to Melbourne. I'm like, oh, I got this thing at home. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I start to call it home now. You know.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's good, bro. I can't complain. And especially, you know, I'm like you. I love being outdoors. I go crazy if I'm inside too long. You know, even if I'm just. Whatever,
Dude, you get a lot of boat
walk.
days in. That's what I mean. You hang out on the water a lot.
Yeah. No, I love it,
That's
bro.
sick.
We didn't have that back home, mate.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny how you appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro.
Dude, just skipping winters. It's like, bro, I just got 6 months up my sleeve every year because I just got this warm weather and it's like the nice energy you receive off people too, right? Like from winter, like if people can't have a chip on their shoulder in winter, like
it's just people just mad already.
Yeah,
and like,
they're off it.
Yeah, you definitely forget when you go back to Canberra and Melbourne in winter. You're like, nah, surely it wasn't this cold when I was here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way it was. Like, you're like my ears are hurting, my nose is fucking still. Like, you know, like. But yeah, it's it's been good here, bro. All right, we'll wrap it up.
Sick.
All right, well there you go. See, standard me and Harry chewing ears off, and I didn't even realise it's already been an hour. So
I thought we were still on the intro.
nah, thanks for coming on, bro.
Dude,
You're a
thank
legend.
you.
That was sick.
Sweaty palms talking to you, mate.
This week on spaghetti. So nah, I look forward to seeing some more crazy shit, bro.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate it.
Show me some crane videos off the camera.
Yeah, for sure. No more injuries and just doing cool shit.
Nah, I look forward to it, bro.
Appreciate
Cheers.
it. Thanks for having us on.
It's Friday, then we going live again. So get your snorkels out and let me see some skins. Smoke ties, not drugs, what we teach the kids. I can't man, destroy that rap. The middle finger to the sky, scream fuck, rap the big cops trying to get me going state to state.